Morning, children. Let's start with the question of today. And the question, as you can see on the screen, is given on for 17 and month of August. That means we have to prepare a cash book for the years 2017 in the month of August. And details are given here. So the first point given here is cash balance and bank balance on 1st August 2017. Since it is a opening balance and we already have discussed that opening balance is written as balance brought down, right? And now since both are having bank balance and cash balance, which means both are having positive balance, and since assets are having positive balance, will be shown on the debit side of the cash book. So here we can say that to balance brought down, cash column 15,000 and bank column 10,000, as cash balance was 15,000 and bank balance was 10,000. Moving to the second point. The second point we can see here is paid insurance premium by check. Acha, here pay a very important attention that it's paid insurance premium. If it would have been mentioned paid life insurance premium, then though it would have been considered as drawing. Why it would have been considered as drawing? Because life is of businessman, and if we are paying life insurance premium of businessman, that will be considered as drawing. But here we just have paid insurance premium. That insurance could be for business. Unless and until it is mentioned, we'll assume that the expenditure belongs to business. And since it's a business expenditure, it will be paid through cash book. So now, since it is an insurance which is paid, insurance paid, that means cash is going out. So it will be written on the credit side of the cash book. So let's check it out. Here we go. Buy insurance, and we have written amount in the bank column. Why we have done so? Because it is said that paid insurance premium through check. Since it is paid in check, that means payment will be made by bank, right, students? But if you would be solving this chapter with the help of journal, so let's check your journal entry first. Since it is an insurance premium which is paid through check. Now, as we already discussed, that insurance premium is an expenditure. Expenditure comes under nominal account, which says debit all expenses and losses. So here we'll have insurance premium account debit to. Payment is made through check. That means payment is made through bank. So insurance premium account debit to bank account. Now since bank is being credited, so we'll go to credit side of cash book in the bank column and write buy insurance premium. Either way, we'll have the same solution. Next point we have is cash sales on 8th August and cash discount on the same date. Basically what it is when we sold goods on cash basis, we allowed some amount of discount. So these are the one and the same point. Now if you see to it, cash discount is not given in the form of cash. Rather, it is just subtracted from the price of the product, right? It is subtracted from the price of the product. It is considered as expenditure, but it is not paid in cash. And since it is not paid in cash, there is no effect on the cash book, right students? So this cash discount will not be recorded in the cash book unless and until we have to prepare triple column cash book, or we have to prepare cash book with discount column. So unless and until we have to prepare cash book with discount column, we'll just ignore discount, whether discount is given or discount is received. Right students? Now here what do we have is, we have sold goods for cash for 22,000. That means 22,000 came into the business. So the point here can be two sales. Since we have sold goods for cash, so cash will be debited with the amount of 22,000. But what about them who are solving it on the basis of journal? So let's pass your journal entry. Since you received cash, so cash got debited. And the point is cash account debit 22,000. Now since in the same point discussion is regarding discount is there, and it is definitely to be shown in journal entry, even if we don't have to show it in cash book, but journal entry will definitely be recorded in that manner only as we used to record earlier. So cash account got debited with 22,000 as it is the cash that we have received. The second point is, we have allowed discount, which is an expenditure or a loss. Since it's a loss, so discount account also got debited as per nominal account. Right? I guess it was 750, so 0.75k. 2. Why this cash came into the business? Why this discount is allowed? Because we have sold goods. So 2 sales. Now sales will be credited with the amount of 22,750. But since we are just preparing cash book where we have to record only cash transaction. So cash, since it is debited with 22,000. So we'll go to debit side of cash book and we'll write in the debit of it is 2 sales 22,000. Correct students? Let's have the next point. And the next point is payment for cash purchases. Payment for cash purchases. Now here what we have done is, we have made payment for cash purchases. Cash purchases means goods purchase on cash basis. Here also cash discount is mentioned, which means that we have received a discount. But since we discussed earlier that we have not made discount column, and hence this discount will not be shown in the cash book. So what we simply have to do is, we have made payment of 21,000 in cash for purchases. So cash is going out, and whenever cash goes out, we have to record on the credit side. So we have written by purchases 21,000. If you would have been passing journal entry for this, so purchases account debit to cash and to discount. But again, we have to take only purchases part, right? Next point we have is cash deposited in bank. Now what happened? Cash deposited in bank. Now see to it. Cash, bank. Both are affected. We have discussed that whenever cash and bank both are affected, this is termed as contra entry. Now what is happening? Since we deposited cash into bank, cash going out will be subtracted. It is going out to bank, so bank will be added. So bank basically need to be debited and cash need to be credited. So we'll record it on the debit side of bank and credit side of cash. Let's check it. It is on 9th of August. So you can see here 9th of August. As we already have discussed, bank got debited and cash got credited. Cash got credited with bank and bank got debited with cash. Right, students? If you look at journal entry, the entry will be, since cash deposited into bank, bank is receiver, so bank account debit. Cash going out, so to cash account. Now since bank is debited, so we'll go to debit side of bank but write the name of opposite party, that is to cash. And since cash is credited, so we'll go to credit side of cash but write the name of opposite party, that is by bank, as you can see here. And the important thing that here we have to write contra entry ka C. Right, students? Okay, next point we have is telephone bill paid by check. Now simply you can see that telephone bill is paid by check. Now since we have paid telephone bill, it's a payment and payment is recorded on the credit side. Since it is paid through check, which means it is to be recorded on the bank column. So let's see to it. By telephone expenses, and the amount we have written in bank column as it is paid through bank. What if you would have been passing journal entry? So telephone expenses account debit to bank account. Since bank is credited, so we have written on the credit side of bank but with telephone expenses. Next point we have is withdrawn from bank for personal use. Here you withdrew from bank but for personal use. Personal use of who? Personal use of businessman. So since it is for businessman, it is to be considered as drawing. And drawing account got debited, bank got credited. So there will be entry drawings account debit to bank account. Since bank is being credited, so we'll write on the bank column credit side by drawings account 6,000. Right, students? Next point we have is withdrawn from bank for office use. You would be considering the both points are same, but both points are having lots of difference. Here it is withdrawn for personal use. Here it is withdrawn for office use. Now when you withdraw money for personal use, the money is going to businessman. It is not coming to you. You are business and it is not coming to you since it is going to businessman. But when you withdraw money for office use, cash is coming to you. So basically what is happening? Cash is coming to you from bank. That means bank got subtracted and cash got added. So we'll write on the debit column of cash book and credit column of bank book. So let's see here. since we have withdrawn cash from bank. So you can see here cash is being debited. Cash is being debited with bank and bank is being credited by cash. And amount you can see here is written as contra entry because both the transactions of cash and bank are affected. What was the journal entry? Since you withdrew cash, so journal entry, cash coming into the business, cash account, debit to bank account. Now since cash is debited, so we have written on the debit side of cash book to bank. And since bank is credited, so we have written on the credit side by cash. Right, students? The next point we have is received check from John in full and final settlement and deposited the same in the bank. Here, as we have discussed, that whenever you receive check, you have to check that when the check is deposited into bank. So we are being said that we have received the check and deposited it on the same date. Now since we deposited it on the same date, that means money is coming to bank on the same date. That means bank account debit to John on the same date. Since bank got debited, so we'll go to debit side of bank and we'll write here to John 10,700. Next point we have is received cash from Mitchell and discount allowed. As we already have discussed that discount allowed will not record in cash book since we do not have discount ka column. So received cash from Mitchell. Cash is coming into the business. So cash got debited and cash got debited because of Mitchell Kumar. So here we have to Mitchell 6850. Right, students? Next point we have is stationery purchased for cash. Now you purchase stationery. Since you purchase stationery, cash is going out. So we have written on the credit side of the cash book buy stationery or buy printing and stationery 1800. Generally printing and stationery are written together because in business printing and stationery ka expenditures are generally recorded together, but we'll record it together only when we are mentioned with it. Next point we have is cartage paid in cash. Again, since you paid cartage in cash, so it is cash which is got credited, which is got subtracted. So we'll write on the credit side of the cash book by cartage. Next point we have is check received from Kumar. Now, as I always have told you people that receive check from Kumar, unless and until it is said that deposited on the same date, we have to check further lines whether is there any information regarding this check. So 28th check received from Kumar deposited into bank. You received check on 25th, but you deposited that check on 28th. So there is a time gap. So when you received check and did not deposit into bank on the same day, it means that you did not receive amount into bank. You just receive a check in hand. So journal entry is check in hand account debit to. From whom we have received it? from Kumar. So check in hand account debit to Kumar. Since there is no point of cash and no point of bank, and hence this point will not be recorded in the cash book. Now on 28th, when we deposited this check into bank, definitely since check is now deposited with bank, so bank got amount, so bank account got debited. Now Kumar to already have gave us check, so we had check in hand. Now that check in hand is going to bank. Since it is going to bank, it is need to be credited. So bank account debit to check in hand. So now you can see that bank got debited with check in hand. So we'll go to credit side on 28th. Here it is written wrong. We'll go to credit side on 28th and we'll write to check in hand, and the amount will be written in the bank column. See, in NCERT this question is solved as we have received check and we have written into cash, but this was very previous concept. It was used to be recorded as cash earlier, but now the concept is being changed. Now we just consider it as check in hand. We do not consider it as a cash, and hence we have recorded here. What they have done is they have debited first of all Kumar with cash column, and later on they have credited cash and debited bank. But we don't need to pass this type of contra entry, and this question I have taken because in NCERT it was given in this way, but generally this concept is now preferred. This concept is not preferred nowadays, right students? The next point we have is check deposited on August 28 dishonored and returned by bank. Now what happened on 31st of August, that the check that we have deposited on 28th, that is the check of Mr. Kumar, it is dishonored. Dishonored, as we already have discussed, that dishonor mean that check got bounced on the date of final payment. That means the receiver of the check, the giver of the check denied to make the payment. Now what happened? Kumar, to whom we have credited earlier, again became our debtor, and hence Kumar got debited. Bank, to whom we have debited, assuming that bank got money, but since bank did not receive money, bank has to be credited. So journal entry is Kumar's account debit to bank account. Now since bank got credited, we'll go to credit side of bank and we'll write here by Kumar 4500. 4500 because the check was amounting to rupees 4500. The next point we have is rent paid by check. Now you paid rent. Since you have paid rent, it's an expenditure, and expenditure need to be recorded on the credit side of the cash book. So we can see here by rent, right? But technically rent is an expenditure and hence it have got debited. So rent account debit to, since it is paid through bank, so bank. Now since bank was credited, we have written on the credit side of bank by rent as per journal entry. Paid wages to the watchman in cash. Now we have paid wages. Wages paid, that means cash is going out. It means it has to be recorded on the credit side. So we have recorded on the credit side by wages. Now always remember, here you must be wondering that we are known that wages is paid to the watchman. But to whomsoever we have paid wages, that person will not be debited, because wages is an expenditure which has to be paid, and that is why it has to be recorded as expenditure only. It should not be considered that the name of the person is given and hence it is to be recorded as personal accounts rule. No, it is an expenditure and hence it is to be recorded in that way only. Next point we have is, and this is the last point, paid cash for postage. Now since we have paid cash for postage, again money is going out. So we have written here by postage. Now balancing, as you all know, that will check whether the debit balance is greater or credit balance. As I have told you that for cash, debit balance will always be greater. So we'll write the debit balance on both the sides. We'll subtract the credit balance and check the balance that is left with us. Right? But in case of in case of bank, any balance can be greater. So we'll have to check whether debit side is greater or credit side is greater. Today I'm giving you this homework that you have to check the debit and credit balance of bank side and tell me the balance of closing entry, that is on 31st of August. Right, students? So let's wind the class for today. Thank you. Stay home, stay safe.